He is a keynote speaker, and people say that he's accountability keynote speaker. He wrote about 10 books, and the name of these books I like very much because it sounds interesting and intriguing. The names are No More Excuses. Oh my God, I do so many excuses. So I think this is a book for me, No More Excuses. Pivot, our accountability circle. And this guy work with companies who sell more than 100 million turnover. 100 million, I don't know how they sold so much, 100 million turnover. So this Sam is a magic guy. The more I read about Sam, my mood becomes better and better. And I will explain to you why, because whatever he says is very, very positive. I think we need it. I hope I can bring this positivity to people to help us to be stronger. My first question to you, dear Sam. Tell me, please, this strange word, accountability magazine, you created accountability movement in the world. What is that?
Well, thank you, Olga. It's wonderful to be here and be able to share. Everything we've been taught around accountability has been wrong. We've been taught to think that accountability is a way of doing, but accountability is a way of thinking. And specifically, it's how we think about people. And so I like to explain that we're responsible for things, but we're accountable to people. So we agreed to be here at a certain time. So that's my responsibility to be here on time. It's my responsibility to get the report done by noon tomorrow. It's my responsibility to get the paperwork done. But I'm accountable to you. Accountability is built on a relationship. It's keeping our commitments to people, but it's not the tactical commitments about doing, it's the relational commitments to live the values, a commitment to it's all of us, that if you fail, I fail. If you succeed, I succeed. And it creates an environment where when a leader is accountable to the people around them, that leader inspires those people to want to be their best and to choose to be accountable.
It sounds very easy, but very difficult to do that. In one of your blog and interviews, you say that when your team is failing, when they do something wrong, people like to lie because nobody wants to say, oh, Sam, it's because of me, Olga, the teamwork fails. It's me who made mistake. So people don't want to lie. How to escape this situation? Because we as human beings, we don't want to be responsible for our failure. How to inspire your team not to lie?
Okay, so that's a beautiful question, Olga. And we would probably need more time than we have, so I'm going to try and get right to it. One of those commitments, those relational commitments that define accountability, is a commitment to the faults and failures as well as the successes. And what that says is a leader is, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Therefore, I do not expect you to be perfect. And when you know that if I'm your leader, that I admit that I make mistakes and I know that you're going to make some, then you're going to be willing to say, Sam, I messed up here. I need your help. How do I fix this? Because the goal is to fix it. But if you come to me or I come to you and say, Olga, you messed this up. This is terrible. I can't believe you did this. You're too smart for this. And I berate you, if I demean you over that, then you have no incentive in the future to come to me and share when things aren't going right. So the responsibility is on the leader to first be accountable and create a safe place where people can admit their mistakes so you can fix it and fix it fast. Now, that all being said, if it's mistake after mistake after mistake, then there's a bigger problem. But let's be realistic. We are all going to make mistakes at some point in time. And it's the leader's responsibility, the accountable leader, to create the environment, the culture where people feel comfortable admitting their mistakes, fixing it, looking for help to fix it if necessary, and then moving forward.
So do you think, Sam, that our leaders, political leaders, when you see political debates, when you see the parties are debating, do you think they create this atmosphere when everybody is not afraid and they inspire their political debate leaders to talk about everything? Or this is example how we shouldn't behave?
Well, that's a great question. And I don't want to generalize and say all political leaders, because obviously different countries and different regions in the world, leadership is seen differently. But I will tell you this. When you look at, there was a recent survey done that said 86% of the corporations, of the businesses globally do not have a workplace culture that fosters ethics. 86% do not, which means it's only a small few that do. So it's only a small few leaders, whether in business or politics, that create this healthy atmosphere, this culture where people can admit a mistake and move on. It's only a small percentage, whether we're talking in the business world or we're talking in government and politics. Are there some? Yes. Are there a lot? There really aren't. And that's the challenge we face.
I see. You know, Sam, in one of your interviews, in one of your blog, you said that you're really surprised by Einstein quote. And this Einstein quote is by 1931. I want to know, why are you surprised? Why you choose this quote? Why you are so intrigued by Einstein? And you, in your blog, you were quoting this thing, that the man is here, it's Einstein's word. The man is here for the sake of other men. He means in the universe, on the planet Earth. Above all, for those upon whose smile our own happiness depends. So why you're surprised? Why you're intrigued by Einstein quote?
Yeah, I don't know that I'm surprised, but I am intrigued and fascinated, and I am inspired, because I believe that we need to discover what our unique purpose is as people, as human beings. And if we're running an organization, we need to know what the unique purpose is of that organization. Your mission as an individual or as an organization is that purpose in action. Your purpose is what brings you joy in the service of others. And so that quote by Albert Einstein basically says several things. It says that we are all connected. It doesn't matter if you're in Russia, the United States, if you're in the Dominican Republic, if you're in Singapore, if you're in Australia. We are human beings. We are connected. And quite frankly, that if I work to help create a better environment, living situation, condition for you, ultimately, that's going to create a better world for me, because we are all interconnected. Look at the pandemic situation right now, just as an example. And you look at the vaccine. It's not just about me getting a vaccine. What good does it do if I get a vaccine if you don't get a vaccine? Because if you don't get the vaccine and I'm around you, I'm still exposed. And so we're all connected. And it's only when we're serving other people that we can grow to be our very best as human beings. It's only when, as organizations, we serve other people, grow to be our very best. And as countries, it's only when we're serving other people in the world that we grow to be our very best.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, I'm now located in United Arab Emirates in Dubai, and I think this country is doing absolutely great, where it's in radio, on the roads, it's written, we are all responsible, we are all connected, and all people feel like that. But at the same time, I don't want to go into the politics. But for example, you saw this scandal recently with Oprah and Meghan and Harry and this interview. And I was thinking, imagine if on that level, when somebody runs away from the palace, and they say something, for example, I will say, if I'm a queen and I'm 94 years old, of course, I will be very sad. If somebody is saying like this, and if somebody will leave your house and say Sam house is not good or Olga house is not good, it's unpleasant to listen to that. So that means that even on a very high level, it's difficult to do what you're saying.
Well, sure it is, but the most important things in life that we need to be doing aren't necessarily easy. We don't do them because they're easy. We do them because they're right. We do them because we're supposed to do them. And so, you referenced that interview, and I love Oprah. I have no idea what the truth is in that situation. In any discussion, there's his side, there's her side, or his story, her story, and the real story. And so we don't know what any of that is. But no one's perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But look, it's real easy to take care of ourselves. It's not as easy to take care of other people. It's real easy to say that we don't have faults, that the problems are someplace else. It's real easy not to admit when we've made a mistake. But it's admitting when we make a mistake. Because first of all, if we don't admit to ourselves that we made a mistake, how are we going to get better? And if we don't get better, we'll never reach our potential. Not only that, Olga, this is our first time meeting face to face. And so I would love to get to know you better. I would love to build a friendship, a relationship. Well, if I'm not being open and honest with you, you're not going to want to have a relationship with me. You're not going to want to get to know me better. The words that I speak will have no meaning to you. And so these are things that we do because they're the right things to do. We're supposed to do it. And they're not secrets. Nothing that I share in any of my book is a secret that I discovered on some scroll under a rock that no one knows about. We know about these things, but yet we don't do it. We don't do it because we're afraid of how we're going to look. We're afraid of losing power. We're afraid it's going to cost us money. And we're looking at all these short-term situations rather than the long-term goals, long-term sustainability. How do we become our very best as individuals? How do we become our very best as a society? How are we our very best as a globe? These are big issues, and we need to step up because there's a lot of people in this world that are hurting. And unless we're our best self, we can't help them. And that's the responsibility that lies on all of our shoulders.
I agree with that. It's very difficult not to agree, definitely. You were saying in one of your interview about commitment, that it's very important to say commitment. For example, if I will say, okay, I want Hidden Hero be a big platform, unites a lot of people, help a lot of businesses, earn a lot of money, it is a commitment. But at the same time, we say in Russia, if you tell your secret, the God will be laughing at you. So don't tell it too early because you will lose the chance of doing that. Do you think it's important to say our commitment out loud, or we just should say commitment to ourselves in secret?
Well, my mission is to build a more accountable world. That's a pretty big thing. If I don't say that out loud, then I'm not able to attract others to help me. And so by you knowing what my mission is, you have the opportunity to say, I want to help you. I want to be a part of that. I think, I want you back on my program next month or the month after or whatever. We're going to make this happen. If I'm not willing to put it out there, it won't happen. So when it comes to what I'm committed to and my mission, I want people to know what it is. I do not have all the answers. I do not believe you need to know how before you start. You must start. You will figure the hows along the way. You will be connected to people along the way. Resources will come your way along the way. But if you don't speak what it is that you're really committed to in this world, then you probably haven't really committed to it, and you are not positioning yourself to have other people come alongside and help you achieve those goals.
This is wonderful what you're saying. So when we say out loud, when people are knowing, when you are knowing what my program is doing, when I know what is this accountability, when I know why you created this movement in USA, what is this accountability magazine, we are eager to help each other. But if we don't say it out loud, how people will not guess what you're doing?
Exactly. That's exactly it. I can't help you achieve your mission unless I know what it is. You can't help me unless you know what it is that I'm working on. And so we need to be open. We need to be transparent. We need to communicate. It's not about holding on to information and having secrets. It's about let's go back to Einstein's quote. How can I be here and not serve you? I need to be able to serve you. And so to serve you, I need to get to know you. I need to know what's important to you. I need to know what your purpose and your mission is. And then when I know that and I can serve you and help you be successful, then ultimately I will be at my most successful and significant place.
This is very positive saying, and I like that you devote your life to this. I like that you devote your passion to this. I like that you wrote 10 books on that, which is really a very big job being done. Tell me, please, you are a person who helping businesses to be successful, to sell a lot. But at the same time, you're a very humanitarian person, as I noticed. How are you combining these two in yourself, Sam?
Well, I don't think
Money
that one
and ethics, is it connected? Can
absolutely,
you be an ethical
absolutely,
person and earn money?
Absolutely. Look, the fastest way to make money today, if I wanted $1 million in the next 30 minutes, the fastest way to get that is to go rob a bank. Now, is that ethical? No. So short term, go rob a bank. Long term, sustainable, build relationships, grow the people around you, and create a mountainside of people who want to see the organization succeed. And the organizations, because I work with companies around the world and government agencies about building a better workplace culture, one that inspires accountability. The organizations that build a strong culture that's based on the success and the growth of their people, those companies out-earn the other companies all the time. You can make money being unethical. You can make money not doing the right thing. And that's the problem. People get rewarded. But if you want the best company, if you want to have the biggest impact, then you have to do it through your people, through growing your people, and through an ethical and a manner that's connected to a high degree of character.
I know that you are the father of 4 kids.
Yes.
How are you managing? How are you raising them? You are raising them the same person as you are?
Well, I would like to think that my wife and I have raised 4 amazing children. If my kids are amazing, it's certainly their mother had a very large impact on that. But I will tell you that our children are grown. Our son is married and has 2 children of his own. He has his own business, and he contributes to important causes in his community. My eldest daughter is an attorney and has the second child is on the way, and she works in the area of affordable housing, and in that realm, I have a daughter that's a nurse practitioner, and I have a daughter that is a pediatrician who focuses on pediatric palliative care. So I'm along with my wife extremely proud of our 4 children. They are doing amazing things. I believe they're impacting people's lives in a positive way.
That is wonderful. You are a very rich person by what you are doing, not only helping people outside, but also in your family, which is a great example to follow. And my last question, which is not in the list, not anywhere, not from my team, but I cannot not very, very small question. Tell me, please, now a lot of people are working online and their teams are not together as it was before in the office. How, when you are, one person is there, but how to keep this team and spirit up? If, for example, maybe they never met, they only met on Zoom or in the live, or I don't know, how to keep this team running?
I work with organizations every day, and this subject is one that always comes up. Number one, we need to know what the values are of the organization before crisis like this hits. And values are not about things. Values are about people. And if I was going to give you one thing to do and in this time is we need to up our communication. We need to let people know that we're there for them. We need to find out what's going on in our people's lives. We need to know what their challenges are. We need to be serving them and helping them be more successful. One of my clients shared with me a year ago. He says, "No worries, Sam. We're gonna go. Everything was remaining the same. We're just gonna go and work from home." And I said, "No, you might be going and working from home, but everything does not remain the same. Your people now have their children at home. They have their spouses at home. They might have their parents at home. And so we as leaders need to get to know our people, what their challenges are, and then help them with those challenges, because then that positions them to be successful, not just for themselves, but for the organization." And so up the communication, get to know your people, serve them, put them in a position to be successful, and then you and your organization will be immensely successful.
Really, that is the last question. I'm not joking. I'm not laughing. I'm not comedian, but because it's so interesting, I'm sorry, I cannot stop. If, let's say I have 1,000 people working for me, how can I make sure that every person has a good spouse, a good parent, a good online education for their kid? How can I do it?
Well, you can't control whether they have a good spouse or a good parent, but you can. Leadership, the chain of command of leadership in an organization needs to be such that the people that I'm responsible for, I need to get to know them and I need to help them. And if I report to you, then you need to get to know me and be able to help me. And part of that is in the conversation between you and me, you need to go, "Sam, how are your people doing? Tell me about them." And so my responsibility is to take care of my people. Your responsibility is me, and through me to reach to my people. And so this has to be built in the organization. And that's why you build it. You dig your well when you're not thirsty. You build this in good times. And when you're flourishing, then when you run into challenges, you've built the type of communication, you've built a workplace culture where people are inspired, and people will come up with any solution for any problem that's presented to them. But if you don't empower your people and create that environment, then when times get tough, it just spirals down instead of spiraling up.
So we should be ready for the challenges before. We can use your great examples of accountability. As I understood, we should be more trustful. We should say more the truth. We should be not afraid of our mistakes to deliver them to people with whom we work. Then we will create better ethical culture that will be ready for the challenges, but also it will be a great place to work at, as you created in your family. Let's say, thanks God, I touch wood. In Russia, we touch wood, you know, that everybody, every child is happy, which is important. And they are giving help to the society. So I really respect, Sam, what you're doing. I think that is very unique. You're a really very positive person. And your blog and your website, you know, and your books, they are really bringing a lot of light. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for your great work and for sharing. I'm so happy to know you. That is big honor for Hidden Hero. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And good luck to your children to continue the